Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now, and for now we have Arpit Beriwal of Motilal Oswal Financial Services joining us on the show to talk about the stocks that are moving on technicals. But before we come to you, Arpit, once again, actually good afternoon to you. And before we come to you, let me talk about Electra Green. I believe you're also tracking this stock on the technical front. Let me talk about Electra Green. Why is the stock hit a record high level in today's trading session? Primarily, the reason for that is the company has bagged a large order worth about 4,000 crore rupees in consortium with the associate firm that's Trans. This is what they informed the exchanges. The group has won the order from Mumbai's public transport provider to supply, operate and maintain 2,400 electric buses on gross cost contract basis. On back of that, the stock saw an uptick of as much as 7.5%, taking it to a record high levels. The company will have to deliver the buses over the next 18 months and will also undertake maintenance of the buses during the 12-year contract period. So that is the reason why Electra Green is at a record high level today.
Okay, and Arpit, that is the reason in terms of the fundamentals. But on technicals, Electra Green, how is that one looking like on the charts? What a run-up that this stock has already seen.
So very good afternoon everyone. So talking about Electra Green, so technically if we see overall the stock has been uptrend from past many months. The structure is intact on monthly scale. So looking at the monthly scale, the stock has ranged from 600 to 1200, then consolidated, then it gave a range record of around 1600, then it again started its move towards 1800 levels, and now it is trading a lifetime high. So this is a clear structure of bull run in the stock. So monthly, weekly setup is quite strong. On weekly scale, it is forming higher highs, higher low, which clearly indicates that every dip is being bought into. On daily scale, it is giving fresh consolidation breakout above 2140 levels with good surge in volumes. So looking at the overall chart setup, we are expecting good 10 to 15% upside move for a positional time frame from 2 months perspective. However, on an immediate basis, one can buy in the zone of 2100 2120 levels with keeping stop loss of 2000 for an upside move towards 2350 2400 zones.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels for Electra Green Tech. As of now, at least we could expect an up move. Let's move on, talk about Paytm. Again in focus today, we have Goldman Sachs that has come out with a note on Paytm. They're maintaining a neutral rating for Paytm, lowered the target price to 450 rupees per share from previous 860 rupees per share. What they're saying is that the implied values per share in the range of around 240 to 750 they've reduced their FY24 and FY26 revenue estimates also for Paytm as well to 36% and 80% is what they're expecting for FY25. They say that there is still a number of unknown that one could see in terms of Paytm's move and in terms of cash balance as well, which they have of around 8,900 crores, but a bit of concern that they're highlighting on that front. So let's keep an eye on that. They've reduced the target price. As of now, Paytm is down almost 1% in trade, recovered from the day's lowest point.
All right, that is Paytm for you. But Arpit, let's talk about Indian hotels. Looks like hospitality sector is not going out of favor in a hurry, given the fact that we've seen a lot of demand as well on the fundamental side coming in for the hospitality space. But Indian hotels on the charts still attractive, or you think now it will take a pause?
So talking about Indian hotel first, technically if we see, it has been a clear up move and the structure of Indian hotel is quite strong technically. So talking about first monthly, if we see the stock is forming higher highs, higher lows from past 4 months on monthly scale. On weekly scales from past 9 months, it is forming higher lows. In spite of market choppiness, it is at trading a lifetime high. And looking at the overall hospitality theme and the overall hotel space, it has been a huge outperformer. Continuously, it is forming higher highs, higher lows on weekly scale, which clearly indicates that bulls are dominating. On daily scale also, today the market was weak, but still it managed to regain its intraday losses and it's at day's high. It's formed a strong bullish candle. So looking from overall coming weeks perspective also, we are quite bullish on this stock. And one can buy in the range of 575 580 levels with keeping stop loss of 555 555 for an up move towards 625 then 650 zones.
Okay, keeping an eye on those levels for Indian hotels. Let's move on and Ashesha talk about NBCC. Why is this one in focus today? What's the news flow?
Well, yes, the stock is gaining nearly 4.5% as we speak. This after the company yesterday informed the exchanges that they've received in principle approval from Greater Noida Authority for Development of Unused and Purchasable FAR and Furtherance of existing projects at Amrapali, the value of which stands at about 10,000 crores. On the back of that news flow, the stock is gaining over 4%. Apart from this, we also had one announcement that came in today morning where the announcement said that the company has entered into an MOU with HUDCO. This is for reinforcing cooperation and collaboration to leverage respective strength for implementation of consultancy services and for asset monetization activities. So another development that has come in, but on the back of these two news pieces, the stock is gaining nearly 4.5% today.
All right, Arpit, let's talk about Jio Financial. Actually, after its debut on the D Street, not many have actually spoken about Jio Financials. And the stock actually has hit a record high level in today's trading session. Where do you see this one headed from here on? Will it continue to slowly and steadily march ahead? Or do you think that now if you made profits, book out of it?
So rightly said about Jio Finance is not being used for quite a long time. But looking at them purely from technical perspective, so since its listing day, 3 months it has been stuck in a range between 230 levels to 260 levels. However, from past couple of weeks, it has gained good traction. On weekly scale, it gave a range breakout around about 275 to 80 levels with good surge in volumes. And generally, if we see, as it is a short listing period, it has given a good consolidation breakout after 3 months. And from a positional perspective, we are expecting good 15 to 20% upside move in coming weeks or in coming months. So Jio Finance, positionally, the setup is quite strong. After a long time, above 285, it is given range breakout. So one can go long at current levels or near minor dip towards 292, 293 levels with keeping stop loss of 275 for an upside move towards 325, then 350 zones.
Alright, let's talk about the counters that have been buzzing in today, and those are the space counters. All of them are actually seeing a sharp uptick, especially space-linked stocks. I stand corrected. The cabinet amended the foreign direct investment limits for the space industry, allowing companies to invest in manufacturing units and satellite services. So on back of that, you had MTAR Tech that saw a surge of as much as 8.5% on an intraday basis. This is the most since September 1st. You had Midhani also that saw an uptick of as much as 8.8%. Zentech now has given up all of its gains, but at one point in time it was up 3%. You had Apollo Micro also that's seeing an uptick of about 4%. Data Patterns, Paras Defense, all of them seeing this particular uptick because of the amendment coming in for the FDI investment, especially in the space sector. So all these space-linked stocks are buzzing in trade today.
Okay, let's move on and talk about NMDC then. And Arpit, NMDC, this one hit an all-time high, at least a multi-year high in the last couple of days. But what is the view now on NMDC? Because after that seems like it's seen a bit of a fall coming in.
So talking about NMDC, if we see all of the metal pack, we have seen a very good rally across the metal index. So in NMDC, if you see the monthly setup, it is forming higher highs, higher lows from past 7 months. On weekly scale, it gave a range breakout around 170 levels, and we have seen an upward move towards 245, 250 levels. On daily scale, from past couple of sessions, we have seen some cool off. But interesting part is that on daily scale, it is holding to its 20 DEMA. That's a moving average from past almost 6 months, and it is acting as a key support level. So that support level is around 232, 233 levels. So risk reward is quite favorable at current junction, and we are expecting another 4 to 5% upside move that is near 250 to 55 levels. So one can go long at NMDC at current zone in range between 232 to 235 with keeping stop loss of 222 for an upside move towards 255 then 265 levels.
Right, just before we move ahead with all the other stocks that are buzzing in trade, let's take a look at what the markets are doing, because the market's definitely buzzing in trade right now. As you can see, a sharp recovery coming in from the day's lowest point. When we talk about Nifty, almost over 9-10% or almost 200-point recovery coming in for the Nifty alone. Sensex also is in the positive territory. Broader markets, they were always in the positive territory today, and they are actually at the day's highest point. Let's take a look at what Nifty Bank is doing, and if the recovery is actually set in for Nifty Bank as well in line with the benchmark indices. Yes, there you go. Nifty Bank also has seen a very good recovery from the day's lowest point, almost 8-10% uptick coming in for Nifty Bank. Also, one of the biggest contributors would also be what's happening with the US futures, because all of them have actually trading near the day's highest point. So that's also reflecting in our Indian markets. We are now at the day's highest point, Vinny.
Absolutely at the day's highest point as of now. A good recovery that we've seen in the markets. Ankita, you've picked out Apollo Microsystems. Why is that one in focus?
Well, a couple of reasons actually on this particular counter. One is that it has received sanction for a term loan of rupees 110 crores from SBI, and this is for the implementation of the upcoming project in Hardware Park in Hyderabad. That's one news flow. Plus, of course, Shell spoke about how the space link stocks are buzzing on the back of government approving a 100% FDI investment. That is also powering the stock, and also the fact if you look at the Q3 FY24 shareholding pattern, that's been reported. The FIIs are shown to hold a good 11% stake in this multi-bagger defense stock, which has already given gains of over 350% in the last year, but they still see an upside. And in fact, if you compare it to the November data, it shows an ownership of 10% as compared to an increased ownership by the FIIs. So a couple of things are powering this stock, and on the back of that, Apollo Microsystems is in focus today.
Absolutely, a lot of stocks actually working in favor of Apollo Microsystems today. But Winnie, there's one stock that has been soaring away in trade for the last 3 trading sessions, and that has to be ABB India.
Absolutely no guessing on that. That has to be ABB India. Continues to see an up move. So yesterday we did have the con call highlights, positive highlights, and now brokerages are also actually upgrading the target price for ABB India. When you look at it, Nomura has upgraded the stock to a buy from a previous neutral rating. They've increased the target price to 5,740 rupees per share from previous target price of 3,575 rupees per share. What they are saying and highlighting is that the rising convergence between automation, electrification and premiumization, that is something that could work out well for the company. Plus, their upbeat outlook in terms of the order outlook, that's what everyone has highlighted as well. They have a very robust order outlook as well, which is keeping them positive in terms of the visibility of the going forward, way forward for ABB as well. And other than that, the margin trajectory at 14 to 14.5% appears to be sustainable. That's the word that is highlighted from Nomura as well. We also had Jeffries, who is also maintaining a buy. They've increased the target price to 6,115 rupees per share from previous target price of 6,085 rupees per share. So brokerage is also giving it a thumbs up, and surely the street is giving it a thumbs up 6%.
Alright, that is ABB India, definitely back in the favor given the fact of good earnings, good commentary coming in, and brokerage is also positive. Arpit, let's talk about Tata Motors. This one, I don't think anyone has been negative on this for the last 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah, as rightly said, Bat. So we are also quite bullish on the Tata Motors within the auto pack, and it has been a huge outperformer. So looking at it technically, it is continuously forming higher highs, higher lows on monthly scale. And auto as a pack, it has been a huge outperformer, and auto as a sector has been a secular bull run. So Tata Motors is classical range breakout and holding on weekly scale. On daily scale, it is forming small bullish candle. However, at the same time, every dip has been bought into. So Tata Motors, we are expecting huge outperformance in coming session also, and slowly, steadily, it can reach towards 4-digit figure. So looking from a positional perspective, we are quite positive on Tata Motors. From past 3 days, it has corrected from higher levels, so the risk reward is quite favorable. It is turning from its 20 DEMA. So at current junction, between 920 to 925 levels, we can buy this stock with keeping stop loss of 890 for an upside move towards 980, then 1000 levels.
Okay, that is Tata Motors, keeping an eye on those levels over there. Let's move on, talk about Eureka Forbes. Shesha, why is this one in focus today?
Well, on the back of a block deal that took place today morning, and the stock is declining nearly 3.5%. 9.3% equity changed hands in a bulk deal that took place today morning, and reports suggest that promoter group is the most likely seller in this block deal. Unolex has sold about 2.3 crore shares. Floor price, remember, reports suggested was fixed at 494.75 rupees per share at a discount of about 3% to yesterday's closing price. On the back of this block deal that took place today morning, the stock is declining in trade.
Alright, that's Eureka Forbes for you. But Arpit, let's talk about LIC. This one also out of the blue has now hit record high levels, near its record high levels as well. How is LIC looking on the charts to you now? Do you think the most strength likely for this one?
So talking overall from an insurance space, in spite of seeing some negativity for banking stocks, but insurance as a space has been quite strong from past couple of months, whether it's LIC or GIC or NICL. So first talking about LIC overall technical structure, it is forming higher highs, higher lows. On weekly scale, the structure of higher highs, higher lows is intact. On daily scale, we have seen some cool off from higher levels. But from past 7 to 8 sessions, the intensity of buying is seen. Good volumes are seen. It is coming back to its 20 DEMA. That is a crucial support. So the structure is quite strong. And going forward also, we can expect good 8 to 10% upside move in coming sessions. The already stock has dipped from higher levels. So current junction, it is near its support zone. So one can go long at current levels in range between 1040 to 1050 with keeping stop loss of 980 for an upside move towards 1111 then 11550.
Okay, that's the view coming in on analyse. Keep an eye out on those levels over there. But with that, that was the last stock for today. So thank you so much, Arpit, Ashish, Ankita, as well as Ashesha for joining in with us. And it's a goodbye from Cheryl, myself, as well as the team who put this show together. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Hey guys, this is Vishal and I want to talk about Bollinger Band today on this technical analysis series which we are watching on this channel. So today Bollinger Band is a very powerful tool which is called volatility bands. It is invented by John Bollinger and it consists of 3 bands. Now let me show you how does the bands look like so that you understand how to trade them. Now there's an upper band, there's a middle band and there's a lower band, right? These 3 bands divide the market into 2 parts. If the markets are above center band, which is the middle band, it will be a bullish market. If the markets are below center band, then it will be a bearish band. Now what are these bands made up of? The upper band is +2 standard deviation and the lower band is called -2 standard deviation and the center band is nothing but simple 20 moving average. So it's like the plus standard deviation and -2 standard deviation. This is invented by John Bollinger. Actually, you don't need to calculate or you don't even need to understand the standard deviation thing. You just click on Bollinger Band and you'll see this chart on your screen. So nowadays, all the platforms support all these basic technical indicators. So let's see what's the most. There are several indicators or several, I would say, kind of signals which we can generate for Bollinger Band trading. But one of the most powerful and simple is the squeeze breakout. What do you mean by squeeze? Like you press the spring and then it bounces like this. Similarly, when the bands are pressed, that means the volatility is very low and then it expands like anything. So let me show you some example of squeeze breakout. So the first one, you can see that the market was sideways for a long time, nothing happening. The bands were getting narrowed, they were getting squeezed. And once the squeeze opens, it looks like a crocodile face, like it's open like a crocodile mouth. And then you can see that those green candles back to back going up. Suddenly the volatility has increased and it has increased on the upper side. That means we are supposed to trade on the long side. So on the first green candle which goes above the band, that's a sign that the squeeze has opened. Mind you, there are some false signals also and you have to immediately get out of a position in case that happens. But if it continues, then you keep holding on to the position. And once it closes inside the band, that means now volatility is done. You can exit the position. So this is how Bollinger Band works. And along with that, I've shown the RSI chart also, which I spoke about in the earlier video, where RSI is above 60, that means momentum is bullish. And the Bollinger Band is above upper band, the price is above upper band, that means the volatility is also high. So volatility plus momentum indicator, the best combination you can have in technical analysis. Right, let's see some more examples. You can see that this works beautifully on all time frames. Like even if you are short-term traders, I think this is one of the best strategy I ever know and I ever taught to my students in our classes. So this is the simplest of all. Let's look at more charts where you get more understanding about the market, whether it's daily or this in an hourly chart of PNB. And you can see that breakout along with that momentum breakout also, and then you enter into that position. Of course, for exit, you can use a different strategy or you can use a simple trailing stop loss, right? So this is how Bollinger Band works. You can see some more examples, and when Bollinger Band is expanding, you enter, it goes up for 5-6 candles and then goes inside. You can do a beautiful swing trade. So swing trading is between 1 to 5 days, 1 to 7 days. So you just make a rule that I'm going to do swing trading based on Bollinger Band, and you can get this kind of trades almost every week. Now let's see some more examples and look at that. There is 2 squeeze opens in one chart only. You can see that once it opens, then goes up, then again it opens like brilliantly and makes a big move on the market. So this is how you understand volatility. Now let's understand the other side of it, which is the downtrend. It happens the same, like when the markets are sideways, either the market will break out on the upside or the downside. Like if it breaks out on the lower side, means on the downside, it will walk on the lower bands, right? You can see that. Now suddenly the bands have expanded like anything. That means the volatility is high. And on which side the volatility is high? On the lower side, because it is tagging on the lower band, because it's showing red candles. Now in this case, what you can do is you can exit all your long position, you can go short or you can buy puts, all those strategies you know. right? So you can see some more examples here on the short side. Again on the short side, here you have example of both long and short on the same chart. Like few days back or few hours back, there's a long breakout, and few hours back there's a short breakout. You can trade both sides of the market. So you just have to, you don't have to predict anything. You're just following the market in this Bollinger Band. You don't predict, you just wait for the signal to happen. The squeeze is happening, then it expands. If it expands on the upper side and the price goes up, then you go long. If it expands on the lower side, that means you go short. That's simple it is. So this is Bollinger Band in brief. Like there's a lot more I can talk about. Of course, I have a lot of videos on my own channel as well as this videos you can watch on channels as well as on YouTube channels, and make notes of it and keep. It's not easy. Once if you watch it once, it might not be enough. You may watch it a couple of times to get the hang of this particular tool. More important is all about practice. So that was Bollinger Band for you from my side, and I'll come back with another technical session very soon. Thank you so much. Good luck and good trading.